Hello everyone. So today I thought I'd sit down and give you a bit of an update on what my academic situation is. Obviously, as a result of this global pandemic, I am not physically in Cambridge anymore, but I'm still a Cambridge student and I will be until summer. I still have one more term of university, but it will be taking place here in my bedroom. This channel has been following my university journey, so it only feels right to share with you the updates on how things have changed for me for this final stretch. I was originally supposed to be sitting my final third year exams in an exam hall in Cambridge, surrounded by my course mates at different tables with an invigilator at the start of June, and that's obviously not happening anymore. The university has had to come up with new ways to assess students in a very short space of time, and I just want to say before I go any further that I feel really grateful to all the university staff who have been putting so much time and effort into formulating these new assessments. I know it will have been far from easy for them, especially with all the students putting in their opinions, sending them letters and emails. I think it is impossible to please everyone, and I know they are definitely aiming to achieve the fairest solution possible. And yeah, basically I've decided to film this video today because I have now received a lot more detail of the form my assessments will take this year. Although, having said that, this morning there's been a lot of other emails flying about and messages flying about suggesting that things could change further for me. You know, when you just don't really know what's happening really. This is the current situation that I'm going to tell you. It might change. Anyway, let's get discussing. So, as you all know, I left Cambridge at the end of my second term. Shortly after I left, as expected, we received an email saying there'd be no face-to-face teaching in Cambridge next term and exams would be done remotely, so no undergraduate students would be returning to Cambridge for the rest of this academic year. All the students were told to move out if possible. Jesus College have terminated my room licence, so I no longer actually have a house in Cambridge. I don't live there anymore. I won't be returning for an extended period. And what we have been told solidly is that supervisions next term will all take place over Skype. So I still will have those small group teaching sessions next term, which is good because I really do need them to understand the content. But up until a couple of days ago, there was so much uncertainty surrounding assessment. We have been getting daily updates from our Vice Chancellor of the university, but these updates haven't said much about our assessment. The only thing they've kept repeatedly talking about is academic rigour. Cambridge values that a lot and online exams were alluded to a lot in these daily update emails, and the university basically said on the 31st of March we're going to let you know about undergraduate assessment, but until then just sit tight, continue preparing for exams as you normally would. I didn't have very high hopes for the university exams policy for this year. I'd heard about other universities cancelling exams or having a no detriment policy, which meant students couldn't go down from their grade from the previous year, and I didn't have much faith in Cambridge to do something similar. So over the last few weeks I've been very worried. I need a 2-1 for my plans next year, and online exams are this new unknown assessment method that I hadn't had experience with before. I don't know how much I back myself to perform well under this new setup. I'm stressed at the best of times about academic stuff. Now add in a pandemic and my stress levels were like times 100. The news is so scary at the moment, and honestly academics are kind of quite low in my priority list. Add the stress of everything else on top, it's all been a bit too much. I haven't really known how to revise because my assessment method hadn't been announced, so what revision technique should I be doing? Everything I'd practiced for the last few years just kind of seems to have gone out the window. Obviously there are a lot of issues associated with online exams. How can you ensure that people aren't cheating? It is extremely hard to make sure people don't look things up on the internet or allowing themselves extra time on the paper. People also have very different working arrangements at home and different facilities available to them. them. Not everyone is lucky enough to have a desk in their room. Some people are going to be at home in really cramped spaces with all of their family members, and it's going to be a difficult working environment for them. And people are just going to be affected to varying extents by the pandemic directly, whether that's themselves getting ill or a family member getting ill. I'm just not convinced that online exams are going to help students' mental health in any way, and they would just place a lot of extra stress on students. Anyway, they're my worries, but at the same time, I like working, I like to study. I don't want nothing to do for the next few months. It's not necessarily me saying I don't want assessment, because I have worked hard this year and I do want my hard work to be recognised. But at a time like this, it's difficult to give recognition for that when it's so hard to judge the amounts of effort people have put in. People have so many different extenuating circumstances at the moment. As you're probably starting to see, it's difficult to find a solution that suits all. On the day we were told we were going to get all the information about our exams, we got an email at midday and I was like, oh, finally, I'm gonna know. And the email says, an announcement will follow. There will be another email telling you your exam results, but we're just teasing you here. This is an email to tell you that an email is coming. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. They had us all sitting on the edge of our seats like, what's going to happen? Eventually, we got an email from the Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Education. The university policy for exams was announced. They have decided that for first year and second year undergraduates, they will only have pass-fail assessments, which will not go on their degree transcripts, whilst third year finalists, such as myself, will have a safety net policy implemented, which means that we can't go down from the grade we got last year, as long as we pass. So they're saying you will have assessments, but if the grade you get in your assessments this year is lower than the class you achieve in second year, then you will be awarded your second year class. This is like the no detriment policy, safety net policy that lots of other unis have put in place. I was really relieved to hear this, and I was not expecting it from Cambridge at all. The second year grade that people achieve is normally a good indication of what they're working at in third year anyway, and it shows what they could achieve under normal circumstances, but this policy also allowed room for improvement on that, so you could still get a first in your third year if you have worked hard in third year. I got a 2-1 last year. You can go check out my results video if you want from last year. And it means that I am guaranteed a 2-1 this year as my final degree grade, as long as I pass my assessments. It's decreased my exam stress a lot, and it's kept my options open for next year as well, which is good. I know I'm going to get a lot of comments asking me what I'm planning on doing next year. I'll share that with you in due course. And so you're probably wondering what form my assessments are going to take. The day after the big university policy was revealed, we got an email directly from the Institute of Astronomy, so my department, because different departments have obviously gone for different forms of assessment. They've decided that the astrophysics students will sit their normal 3-hour papers at home. We'll be able to download it at the start of a specified time period, sit down for 3 hours to complete it, open book as well, so they're going to let us have our notes to complete it with, because if it wasn't open book it would be impossible to police and people would just use their notes anyway. We have to sign to say we've only taken 3 hours on the exam and send it back off for marking, and so we have 4 of those 3-hour papers, and we'll all have a compulsory viva, which is like an academic interview. People from the department will speak to you about the course and ask you questions about the course and your exam answers as well, just to check you actually know your stuff and haven't got someone to do the exam for you. And what are my thoughts on that? Well, they are being really trusting of people in asking people to just spend 3 hours on the exam and no more. I don't like to think that anyone would cheat, but it's just so easy to spend more time. Even 5 minutes, someone could get to the end of the 3 hours and think, oh, what's another 5 minutes? No one's gonna know. I'm also a little bit worried about bookwork questions. When I say bookwork questions, I mean derivations of equations that are in our lecture notes that normally we just have to revise and learn. But if the exam's open book, you could literally just copy that down. Is the exam just going to turn into a race of copying down things out of the notes? Past papers for astrophysics have always been about 40% bookwork questions. That's 40% of the exam just seeing who's the fastest at going through their notes and writing stuff down. How much of the department adapting the exams? Are they taking out all the bookwork questions? In which case, the exam will be 10 times harder, because the questions that aren't bookwork are normally applying the stuff that you've just spat out from the notes to a new situation. And that's the part where you really have to use your brain. Is the whole exam just going to be that? Because that'll be really hard. But I suppose the whole cohort will be sitting a tougher exam, so it won't matter too much because we're all graded relative to each other. I'm glad they've decided to viva everyone, because there's only 20 of us, so it's not too big an effort for them to speak directly with all of us and assess us that way. I still think it's an interesting call to assign classes for the year based on performance in online exams. They seem like a very dodgy method of assessment to me, but exams can't really be postponed to when everything's back to normal, because when will things be back to normal? No one really knows. A lot of people need to graduate this summer in order to start jobs at the end of this year. It's a rather difficult situation. It's also interesting how other departments have reacted. The astrophysics course shares lecture courses with both the maths department and the physics department, so maths students and physics students study some of the same stuff that we do, yet they're being assessed in a very different way. I think the astrophysics approach is perhaps one of the toughest, because they're saying, right, it's pretty much business as usual, you're going to do your usual papers. But I'm wondering whether I'd prefer just sitting down and doing the exams at home rather than having a viva where I'd probably get stage fright. Like, an academic would ask me a question, I'd probably freeze on the spot and go, I don't know, even when I do know. So I'm not sure I'd feel completely comfortable being assessed entirely by vivas. The astrophysics department is such a lovely department though, and they are organising a online call where everyone can ask questions to the senior examiner and the heads of the department, and we can iron out all the details. Essentially, all I need to do is pass this year and I will get a 2-1. I could get away with putting in less work than I normally would, but I'm not going to do that because I have a good work ethic. I haven't suddenly lost that. It's quite nice to have something to do still while I'm on lockdown, and I can just enjoy my subject for once without the academic pressure as well. My degree is pretty cool. Astrophysics is awesome. I would recommend it to anyone. I need to figure out a new revision strategy because I'm not sure flashcards are that effective anymore when the exam is open book. Sure, I want to remember some stuff, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still sad about losing my last term at university, and I think I'll be quite sad about it for a while. Exam term does suck in a lot of ways. You're constantly revising. There's a lot of stress with exams coming up, and you're stuck indoors when it's really sunny. But there's perks of exam term. You're in it with your friends, you're in it together, and you can look forward to those revision breaks. You have dinner together, you can discuss your day and have that light relief from work. I would have had short picnics with my pals. I was going to learn to row. And then after exams, there's so much fun. May balls, garden parties, punting. You get sprayed with kava when leaving your last exam. And then the graduation ceremony where you wear the big gown with the fluffy hood, and that's just all gone. We've been robbed of it. But I know things could be a lot worse for me, and I am really grateful that I'm healthy, touch wood, and all my family are healthy. It's been an abrupt ending to my university experience, but hey ho. And that's the update. Things will get better. It's not permanent. We've all got to stay positive as much as possible. Stay tuned for more study content because it looks like I will be studying for the next few months. Give the video a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on my Instagram, which is @_Paige_Y. And that's it for today. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye bye.